Ekitike light up Anfield yesterday, which was marked by merits and also by racism. Pep Guardiola rebuild during preseason is paying off because he's bringing Manchester City their swag back. Tottenham becomes the first beneficiary of a historic rule change in Premier League. Sunderland have stunned West Ham United by 3-0. Newcastle United, the saga of Alexander Isak have caused them 2-point loss yesterday. They were just quick and slack in the game against Aston Villa in the Villa Park. Hello guys, welcome back to Ashili Sports. With me is Ima, and if you just join us, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video, and hey, let's go. It's going to be Jack. Ima,
Yeah.
which game are we even starting with? Because the games were too quick and so fast. I don't understand. First of all, how are you feeling with the comeback of Premier League and how it's been going so far with the few games?
Yeah, I think it's great to have football back. After some 3 months of the break, though we had the Club World Cup and other competitions during the preseason and the preparation towards this new season, we saw some teams flying to different countries to prepare for this season. And I feel like finally football is back. If you go to Spain, the La Liga 2 has started, and France too. They've started playing the French League on. Just yesterday, the English Premier League 2 started with Bournemouth and Liverpool, and they gave us a very great performance on match day 1. It continued today, and yes, today we've seen the likes of Manchester City. We've seen Thomas Frank's Tottenham Hotspurs, and I think there are some quite other teams that they are showing up to the occasion. Sunderland, the debutants for this season, are also showing that they are a very formidable side that people must be very careful with them.
Sunderland and West Ham. Sunderland scoring West Ham by 3-0. Were you actually expecting that? Because this was a game that everyone thought, yeah, for 8 years they've been out of the league and now they are coming back with this stunner of a game against West Ham at home, 3-0. What's your makeup of that game?
Yeah, for me, it's not that surprising. We've seen teams that come into the Premier League and, match day 1, they give us a spectacular performance. Last season, for instance, Ipswich playing against Liverpool in their first game. I think, yeah, though Liverpool won the game, but Ipswich also gave a very, very good performance. So I wasn't surprised. We've seen teams like Brentford scoring Arsenal on match day 1 when they were being promoted into the Premier League. So it's not that surprising. But when you look at this West Ham team that we saw today, I feel like whatever last season they did, they should go back and correct their mistakes, because last season their performance wasn't that good. And it's like if they are continuing that same performance this season, it is going to be a very big problem for them. If you can't win against debutants like Sunderland and the teams that have been promoted now, I'm not sure you can win against the likes of Manchester City, the Liverpools, and the Arsenals. So yes, I think it's high time they go back to the drawing board. The early stages now, they shouldn't wait for it to get out of hand before they react to it. So now they have to sit down and talk to the players. Though they've lost 1 or 2 players, including Mohamed Kudus and the other guys, but they have to still go back and correct their mistakes. Else, by the time they realize they're already in the relegation zone.
Talking about Mohamed Kudus and Tottenham, today was absolutely incredible performance by Tottenham. Not by the performance of Richarlison, who has scored his astonishing goal with his left-footed for the first time in history. Not about Thomas Frank getting that 3 points against Burnley, but then a historic beneficiary they have got this game. For sure, we all know about the new rule that the FA have implemented, which is a goalkeeper should not keep ball more than 8 minutes. And just by the few minutes to the game, I think Dubravka kept the ball up to 14 seconds. Sorry, it's 8 seconds, 14 seconds, and then the referee blew for a corner kick. Were you surprised with that
Yeah,
rule?
I think day in day out we they implement new rules in the game. For instance, some of us we didn't grow up watching games being reviewed after certain decisions. Now we have the video assistant referee, the VAR. So yes, yeah, as time goes on, they will try to correct certain mistakes in the game. You know, keepers can keep the ball for like 20 seconds, but some can even do it like 30 seconds. The only penalty the referee can give them is a yellow card, and they go scot free. But when when the other team is being given a corner kick, it will put pressure on the defenders and the goalkeeper too. Let's say, for instance, due to that corner kick, a team scores. Now it is the fault of the goalkeeper, and they will start blaming them. So it will also bring about some form of like sanity in the game. Fairness, you know, the fair play will be introduced in the game because then you can't just hold the ball above 8 seconds. If it is above 8 seconds, then you're being penalized. And yeah, sure, for sure, the other opponents will take advantage of that. So I think yeah, it's normal. It's normal in the game. Day in day
Yeah.
out, they are bringing new rules.
Manchester City once again is back after Pep Guardiola last season struggles. During the preseason, he has been able to try his best, and now they are back to their swagger winning with Erling Haaland scoring 2 goals today, and the guy that they just bought recently, Reijnders just got the second goal for Manchester City. What do you make up of this game against Wolves? I was expecting they will struggle a bit, but then when the goal started, it's just coming like they were already ready for it.
Yeah, I didn't see much of Manchester City during the preseason because I think they were kind of cool doing their own things. Yeah, I was like a bit surprised. I wanted to see how the team would gel in this match day one, but I feel like as Pep is always Pep, he always has his ways and means and the way he can put the players on the field for him to get the result. We looked at the performance of Tijani Reijnders today. It was massive. It was a massive performance from him. We saw Ryan Cherky. Ellen Brand Haaland, we shouldn't talk much about him because we already know his performance. Yeah, so if they are to continue playing like this for 4 or 5 games together, I think they'll find a proper balance in the team, and they are good to go. And when they find the right spot and the right tactics, Manchester City is going to be a very difficult side to beat this season.
The way they have prepared for this preseason, we didn't see them playing a lot of games, but then at the end of the day, they are getting things done here. But Aston Villa, Newcastle United in the Villa Park was a bit of, I can't say it the way I wanted this game to go, even though I expected that draw. But it looks like Newcastle United were just quick, but then slack in their half yard because they lack a striker of Alexander Isak in that area. But then you look at Aston Villa, you question yourself, is it the same Aston Villa we used to know last season? It was just a bit of not that kind of enthusiasm that I drive from that game. Do you think lack of Isak in that game actually made Newcastle lose the 2 points in the Villa Park, or it was just not their day?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the Newcastle performance today, you can see they are lacking a center forward, in the shape of Alexander Isak. Because when you have a player like Alexander Isak in the front of the goalpost, you are rest assured that maybe when you get 4 or 5 chances, maybe 2 or 3 will get in at the back of the goalpost. You get it. So yeah, I think today they use a strategy to play Anthony Gordon as a number 9, but he's not well established in that position. So it became very difficult for him. I'm sure maybe going forward, Eddie Howe will sit down with his board and his backroom staff and decide on whether to allow Alexander Isak leave to Liverpool or any other team, and maybe bring in a striker as soon as possible. Else, yes, it will affect their season because they need a proper centre forward because they will create the chances and everything. Bruno Guimaraes will create the chances. Joelinton from the other side. You can see Anthony Gordon too is contributing to they assist and everything. But yeah, they are not getting the ball at the end of the back of the goalpost. So yes, I think it's high time, and they have to solve this situation as soon as possible before it gets out of hand. So they should sit down and find a proper center forward as soon as possible.
They should get a center forward because it's needed. Today was just another day that I don't want to see Newcastle in that position. But then Liverpool, Bournemouth. This was a game that Bournemouth came into the game with a strong hand after Liverpool, after Ekitike scoring or lightening up Anfield for Liverpool. And then it came out as a challenge in the game where Semenyo was with racial abuse, and afterwards he was able to score 2 goals, equalizing the 2 goals of Liverpool. The game ended 4-2. Mohamed Salah getting, and then Chisa, who has scored his first Premier League goal, was just happy and happy and happy. Do you think teams are getting an slot structure or his way of playing? Liverpool played the ball, but Bournemouth was bullying them and they were getting into them until Chiesa got that goal.
Yeah, I think I'm going for an Slot has to, be a bit dynamic with his tactics. I feel like the teams have now read and see his tactics, the way he plays, And yesterday they were fortunate enough to get the 2 late goals for them to win 4-2 against Bournemouth. When you look at the game, they took the lead with the first 2 goals. And can see Ekitike and also how do you call it? The second goal from Cody Gakpo.
Odegaard,
So when they took the 2 goals, I thought maybe, yeah, the proper Liverpool, they will just, finish the game. But yes, Antoine Semenyo came in and, pulled one back and equalized with a 2-2. I was sure that the game was going to be a draw. But, Liverpool being Liverpool and they're playing at the back of, their own yard, Anfield, they also found a way to, to get the result. I'm very happy for him because several days he's been on the bench due to injuries and, other stuff. But finally, he came onto the pitch and he got a goal for Liverpool. Later on, as we know of Mohamed Salah, he's never gone for the past 10 seasons now. Every match they won, you will see Mohamed Salah on on the score sheet. So yeah, I'm not surprised. But I feel like Arne Slot has to do something about his tactics. I feel like the teams have, mapped a strategy to face him this season, and it's going to be a very difficult season for him.
It's going to be a very difficult season for him for sure. And you look at the amount they are spending. I was expecting much from Liverpool, and even looking at how Liverpool used to dominate on games, they didn't dominate like that with not Bournemouth. For sure, Bournemouth has been absolutely incredible. And looking at what happened to Semenyo in that game, racism is not part of the game. It's not something that we can do. And I like the way they actually handle with the referees, with the officials and everyone. The way they handle it was absolutely incredible. And for him to come back, scoring 2 goals for Bournemouth, you think he was just doing it to make a point, or he's just mentally strong to do it for himself?
Yeah, I'll say he's mentally strong because some people, when you say such words to them, it dampens their spirit, it brings their spirit down. But I think he just overlooked the situation and decided, okay, let me just play for my club, let me just play football, let me not concentrate on whatever is going on outside the pitch. Definitely, you will get people like this who will come at you, and I was really surprised that it was coming from a physically challenged person because looking at your situation, you calling someone that was uncalled for. But yeah, I think Semenyo also handled the situation very well. Came in the second half and bagged in the goals for Bournemouth. It was just unfortunate for them that they couldn't get a point at the Anfield. But yesterday's performance was that good. Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, there's no way we can eradicate racism from football totally. So we still get those bad nuts in each and every game, but gradually, maybe someday, somehow, we will get there. But comparing the way it was some years before to now, I feel like we've handled the situation quite okay for now.
Brighton versus Fulham, a game that I anticipated a lot of goals will come in, but it ended up with 1-1 draw in Brighton. So what do you make up of that game? Do you think it was something exceptional that we're supposed to check that we didn't see in that game?
Yeah, for me, I didn't watch the game. I just saw the scoreline 1-1. I was like, oh, okay. Sometimes when it's match day one, you can't see the actual performance of the teams.
Performance, yeah.
Yeah, they have to play. Some people are still in the preseason period. They've not gotten out of the preseason period. They are still in there. They have to play like 2 or 3 games before they get into the season properly. So yeah, I won't blame the players that much. We saw a spectacular performance from other teams, but it doesn't mean all the teams will perform to the best of their ability. Some people hit the grounds running as early as possible. Some people, they are slow starters. So, but the only disadvantage in this one is by the time you catch up with the pace, some people are already gone. So you don't get time, to adapt and play your normal football. Some way, somehow, the teams have to find a way of grinding results, whether it's a draw, but to lose maybe 2 or 3 within this period, it might affect you in the near future because you don't know the kind of games you're going to play maybe you're just playing against the normal clubs right now. You get to meet the difficult ones, and yeah, everything has been, shattered already. So I think they have to find a way of, grinding the results, whether they like it or not, because the season has already started and there's no honeymoon period for anyone.
The season has already started, and for sure, tomorrow we have games coming on, which is Chelsea will be hosting Crystal Palace in a London derby, and for sure, Manchester United will be hosting the Gunners, Arsenal in Old Trafford. And hey, join us in that game as well. And if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video. And Ima, your thoughts on that two games before we say goodbye.
Yeah, Crystal Palace playing against Chelsea. I think, yeah, Crystal Palace play their performance against Liverpool during the Community Shield wasn't that bad. So for me, it's a very difficult game for Chelsea. Though they've
Yeah.
won the Club World Cup and they are coming in with a very strong team, but Crystal Palace too is a side that we have to watch with the likes of Jean-Philippe Mateta. They still have a Berechi as a team.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a difficult side. I feel like I'll go in for a double chance for Chelsea. Yeah, if I'm to be honest, I'll go in for a double chance for Chelsea. Arsenal playing against Manchester United, at the Old Trafford. It is another difficult game for Arsenal. I feel like Manchester United have a point to prove this season, and maybe they will start the whole thing with Arsenal. So Arsenal has to be very careful tomorrow in the game against Manchester United. For me, I am an Arsenal fan, but I'll be honest, I'll go in for a double chance for Manchester United in this game.
Manchester United and double chance for Chelsea for sure. Guys, see you in the next video. Hit the subscription button if you are new, like and share the video, and we are gonna see you in the next video because tomorrow we still have games to come. Ciao.